The kettlebell deadlift is one of the most important kettlebell exercises to learn when you're starting your kettlebell journey. This exercise teaches you the hip hinge. That's when your hips go back and your back stays flat to help load the backside of your body and do a lift. This is the foundation for the kettlebell swing, the clean, the bent over row, just to name a few. So with that in mind, let's learn how to properly do a kettlebell deadlift. Come on.
The first thing you want to remember is that your hips are going to go back and your knees are going to bend only a little bit to help facilitate a hip hinge. You then want to have your head over your shoulders and your shoulders over your hips in a straight line, bending at the knee to help send the hips back towards the wall behind you. You can practice this a few times with just your body weight, hinging at the hips, keeping the back flat and the core engaged. Now take a big exhale, send those lower ribs towards the hip bones, and gaze straight in front of you to maintain the C curve in the back of your neck while hinging. Hinge down and grab that kettlebell. As you stand up, pull your hips through, squeezing the glutes and maintaining a long flat back. You can see that the hips go back as the knees bend. Here I have a narrower stance with the kettlebell. You can pick the stance that works for you. For example, if I have two bells, my feet need to go much wider in order to accommodate both weights. But you could pick the stance with just one weight as well. If you're having trouble with the deadlift, for example, if your spine is rounding like mine is here, you're probably not sending your hips far enough back and your knees aren't bending quite enough. So what you're going to do is use a wall for practice. This wall is going to help me practice a really strong hip hinge. So I'm going to practice hinging on the wall, starting pretty close to the wall and sending the hips back. You'll then take an itty-bitty step forward, hinging again, and you're going to keep repeating this until you can no longer contact the wall. Then you'll want to back up to the last point at which you could contact the wall without feeling like you're going to fall over, and scoot the kettlebell into place. Now you can practice your deadlifts, and you should be able to feel and see that your back is no longer rounding. This exercise is great to practice with your deadlifts if you're having a hard time keeping it flat. But if you're still having trouble, you might want to bring the floor closer to you. Using a yoga block or some plates if you're in the gym, place them underneath the kettlebell. Make sure that the blocks and the kettlebell are right in the middle of your feet, and now you can practice doing the deadlift with a more limited range of motion. As you improve, you'll be able to eliminate the block because you will have improved your range of motion.